know the first two rules. The last one, usually when I ask the class, I will get like 1 or 2 students who know it. Most students don't know this. That's okay. So when you get a number, whether 3 goes in there, you don't look at the last digit anymore. You actually have to add all the digits. So for example, let me give you a big number, say 723 and 111. Okay, so this is 723,111. So it's a big number, and I want to know quickly where the 3 goes in there. So the way you do is you take the sum of all the digits, which means you add all the digits. So you're going to add it 7 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So because addition is much easier to do. So I get 7 plus 2 is 9, 9 plus 3, 12, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I end up with the 15. And then you're going to check whether 3 goes into the sum. And apparently 3 goes into 15. If 3 goes into 15, then 3 goes into that big number there. So this is a quick way for you to check. And let's say if I check, change that to a 2, then when I add all the digits, I'm going to get 16, but 3 doesn't go into 16, which means 3 doesn't go into this number either. So this is a quick rule for you to check whether 3 goes into a number. So when you get this number, I mean, probably the first thing you look at the last digit is 8. So it's going to be, it's an even number. So you probably know, okay, 2 goes in there, right? So that's the first thing you can try. And then you want to try whether 3 can go in there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and actually talk about this question. All right, so when we do this, there's several different ways. So let's see, I get a 138. Now, so right now, it's probably a little not as easy as 60, because when you have 60, you immediately see 6 tens, so 6 times 10 probably, or 2 230s or 5 12s. But when you have 138, it's probably not very easy to see anymore. So you can follow these 3. You may need to use one of these 3 rules or all of them. So I'm going to start with 2. I'm going to see whether 2 goes in there. Apparently, the last digit is 8, so 2 must go in there. Although I don't know how many times 2 goes in there, I know 2 must go in there. So I'm just going to write down 2, and I have to divide 138 by 2, do long division, unless you can work this out in your head. So I'm going to get, okay, 69. Now 2 is prime, so leave it. But 69, can we break down further? Is that a prime or not? We don't know, right? So we're going to use the rule. First of all, still, I'm going to check 2. Okay, so does 2 go into 69? No, because the rule says it has to be even, but this one ends in a 9. It's odd, so you can't. No, it's not a 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So it doesn't go in it. So maybe next I want to check. Well, you could check 5. 5 doesn't go in there either because it has to be 0 or 5. Well, 9, it's not a 0, not a 5, right? So that means 3. So we got to check 3, whether 3 goes in there. I mean, you probably can see it, or if you don't see it, you can add these 2 digits, 6 plus 9, which gives me a 15, and 3 goes into 15. That means 3 goes into 69. So that tells me for sure 3 goes into 69. How many times? You might be able to see. If you can see it, just do long division. So 3 goes into 6 2 times, 3 goes into 9 3 times. So that's 23. Now 3, we already know it's a prime, right? I mean, I actually went all the way to 23, but if you don't remember whether 23 is prime or not, you can still use the rules. 2 doesn't go in there, 5 doesn't go in there. By the way, you don't have to check whether 4 goes in there, because if 2 doesn't go in there, 4 is not going to go in there, okay? Because 4 is a multiple of 2. So think about it. If 23 does not contain 2, it cannot contain 4, because if 23 contains 4 and 4 contains 2, that means 23 contains 2, but apparently 2 doesn't go into 24. So 23. So that's why you only need to check those prime numbers here. You don't really have to check whether 4 goes into a number or not. So if you check the 2, you don't have to check 4, 6, 8, all of these. If you check the 3, you don't have to check 9, 12, all those numbers. So we go back here. 2 doesn't go into 23. 3 doesn't go into 23. 5 doesn't go into 23. 7 doesn't go into 23. You can pretty much stop. 11 is not going to go in there, and so on. So this is going to be your prime number. Okay, so let's write down the answer. 138 equals 2 times 3 times 23. That would be the prime factorization. I did see that curve